Hey, hello everyone, and welcome back to our D365 ERP channel. So in this new episode of the production control module, we are going to discuss about the calendar, operation, production resource and resource group. In calendar section, we are going to discuss what is calendar in Dynamics, what is the importance of calendar in resource allocation. Then we demonstrate, we'll create calendar in the Dynamics, and we also compose the calendar for a year. So in the next part, in the operation, we discuss about the what is operation, importance of the operation in the production cycle. Then we create two operations in the Dynamics, and we also assign the operation relation in this episode. Next we move to the production resources. We discuss about the what is production resources and the type of resources available in the Dynamics and what is the use of each resource. Then we move to the resource group. We'll discuss the what is resource group and the key features of the resource group functionality. So this is the agenda for today's episode. If you are not watched our previous 3 episodes in this playlist, I strongly recommended you guys to please first check out these episodes. We already covered the basics of production control module, and in our previous episode we cover all about the BOM bill of materials. So you can check out that episode, and then you can start with this new episode. So let's first start with the calendar. So what is calendar in Dynamics? So a calendar in Dynamics F&O is used to define working days and working hour for production and scheduling and logistics. So calendar in Dynamics is used for the planning production, managing resource and scheduling order. So these three important operations are done based on the calendar created in the Dynamics. So I have also mentioned the key uses of the calendar in this slide. So the major production scheduling is happening based on the calendar which we have created, and the working days how it's created. So based on that, machine and label scheduling is happening. Next, for capacity planning, it's determine the working hour and shift for resources. Then third, for warehouse and vendor operation, also we can use the same calendar because it's a global calendar. Then fourth is a customer delivery planning. So when we create a production order based on the calendar assigned to that resources, and this resource used in the production cycle, based on that we'll calculate the working days. So calendar plays an important role in the production process. So let's get into the Dynamics and create a new calendar. So in the Dynamics, in the module section, select the organization administration. It's collapse all. Inside the setup we have calendars. So first we click on the calendar. Here the 24-hour shift, 8-hour shift, 16-hour shift, based on your resource or business scenarios, you can create a calendar. So 24-hour shift means it's a 3-shift calendar is created. So let's create a calendar for 2 shifts, which is 16 hours. In the name we'll add the production 16 hours. Okay, so the next part is base calendar. So base calendar is in use, let's say in the 24 hours. I'll select here 24 hours. Then system automatically assign or inherit the working time assigned under the 24-hour calendars. I'm not recommended to use the base calendar because anyhow it's not gonna use in the further operation. Because let's say if you want to use the working time of the 24-hour calendar, then we can directly assign the production 24-hour instead of duplicating the same calendar again with the working hours. So I just keep this as a blank, and in the standard working in hours, so as we are creating calendar for 16 hours, I just select the 16. Okay, so we have created a calendar in calendar master. So the next part is add the working time. So to add the working time, we need to compose the working time. But for to compose working time, first we need to create a template for a week. So for that, you guys navigate to the module organization administration. We have this option under the calendar working time templates. So here we create a working time template for new calendar. So here you can see that it's configure from Monday to Sunday. So it's for a week we create a template, and based on this template system create a calendar for a year or 6 months based on your requirement. So first we create a working time template. So for that we add 16 hours. So let's go to the first Monday and add the working time. So here, as I'm let's here you can use a clock as well as you can directly add the time. So here I just enter the 8. So here I select 8 until 1 p.m. Okay, so 1 to 1:30 we keep it as a lunch break. So next time is 1:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. Then next shift start from 5:30. So let's add again the new line, and here make sure you add the PM and AM. But if you incorrectly enter the AM and PM and make some mistakes here, system automatically give an error that time you have enter is incorrect. So no worries about that. Next is 5:30 to 8, and then 8:30 p.m. Keep it as 11:30 p.m. Okay, so here system automatically count the hours. So in we keep, for this example we keep this efficiency as 100, and hours, so total hours counted after deducting the lunch breaks, it's 14 hours. So we have created a shift time or working time for Monday. So now we are not going to add the same for all from Tuesday to Friday. We are just going to copy paste the same from Tuesday to Friday. But in the system we have that functionality, you can configure like that. Let's say in Monday your production facility is working for 10 or 12 hours, and the rest day it's working for 16 to 18 hours. So based on your business scenario you can configure like that, but to save our time we just copy this one. So let's copy from Monday to Tuesday. Now move to the Wednesday. In the Wednesday also we are doing the same. So Tuesday to Wednesday, and Thursday, oh sorry, first we need to Wednesday to Thursday, and then Thursday to Friday. Okay, so it's same, like it's showing we have already copy the same. Okay, so for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday we have um, completed our working template. So for Saturday and Sunday we keep it as a weekend, so we do the close for pickup for Saturday and Sunday. So now we have done with the working time template. So again go back to our calendars and select our 16-hour calendar. Again click on the working time. Here we click on the edit, click on the compose working time. Now here system automatically taking my current date from date to date to create a new calendar. Here you can create a new calendar for a quarter or for a 6 month or 3 years, 4 years. It's based on your requirement. So for now I'm just creating a calendar based on the working template which we just created. For it's from 25th 1 2025 to the 25th 1 2026, so for a year. Now in the working time template I'm selecting the template which we have created for 16 hours. So I keep the use based calendar toggle as no, and we click, as soon as we click on the OK buttons is based on the working template which we have created, like from Monday to Sunday. Eh, Based on that, system create whole year calendar for us. So just click on OK. So start composing working times. So now here you can see that system created a calendar for a year, and for even for Saturday and Sunday, let's say 25 and 27 is Saturday Sunday, so you can see that it shows the closed for pickup. But in some scenarios, let's say weekend, we have the critical order to complete, or production facilities are still working, so you have that option to disable this closed for pickup. But in that scenario you need to make sure to add the working time, because in the working time template we have not added any working time for Saturdays and Sundays. So if you made any overlaps or made any changes in the yearly calendar, you need to manually add the working time for that particular day. Okay, so we have completed the calendar, we have created the calendar master, add the working time, create a template, and based on the template we created a calendar for a year. So now in the next step I'll show you that how you can assign this calendar to the resource. So this will help in the resource planning for user. So let's navigate to the production control module. Let's collapse all under the setup. In the resource section, we click on the resource, and for timing let's just select any resource. So here Jody is a human resource, so you can assign this calendar for human resource or machine or any vendor, anything which is a resource used in the production cycle. So in the resource, in the calendar section, you just click on this add, and here we have that option to add the calendar. So for Jody, now she is working for 16 hours, so now we have completed the calendar setup. So let's move to the operations in the production. So let's again go back to our presentation. So now first we understand what is the operation, what is the use of the operation relation. So an operation is a step of the production process. Let's say cutting, packing, or assembling is an operation for use in the production process, and each operation in the dynamics has their unique ID and a description. So each operation represent a specific task required in the manufacturing of product. So next is operation relation. In the operation relation we set up a time and run time. We mention the resource requirement. We also mention the costing information and the consumption calculation. So in the real-time demonstration you will understand that why operation relation is more important, because all the costing setups and runtime resource requirements all are mentioned in the operation relation. And in the example, as we in our previous episode, we are using the example making a chair. So the operations used in the making chair are cutting a wood, then welding a steel which is used under this chair, and the third is painting. And we can also add up operation like packing. So operation is scarce, so let's demonstrate the operation now in the dynamics. Let's collapse all, click on the setup. Under the root we have operations. So here you can see that operations are created with their unique ID and the name which is the description of that operation. So let's create two new operation for our production process. As we making a chair, so assembling, and we just copy paste the same, and we add again new one is painting, just copy paste the same. Okay, and packing and all the stuff are already there, so that's why I'm not going to add this one. In the painting as well, I mentioned in the description that painting a chair, and okay, system showing that its painting is already there, so let's rename it as painting ch. Okay, okay, now system accept that. So let's click on the relation to understand this why operation relation are important. So in the new, as soon as you click on the new button, system asks you to enter the important information like financial setup time, run time, transit time. You also need to mention over here. In the cost setup, we have that option to set up the category. Let's go to the view detail. So in the cost categories, you can see that, as let's say I'm selecting the assembly as a cost category. In the account section, we need to make sure its estimated manufacturing cost account is mentioned in the ledger posting section. So we just keep this as a blank for now, or let's delete this one because we have not yet created any route group or route type in this our demonstration. In the next video we are going to discuss about the route versions and route group. So in that part we'll again go back to the operation and add all these things. So for now we just keep it as a add the operation in the master level. So the operation part is also covered. Now let's move to the resources, production resources. So we have again back to our presentation. So starting with the resources. So first we understand what are resources. So operation resources, or we can call it as the production resources, included a machine, tool, worker, facilities, physical areas or vendor involved in the project or production process. So the resources are essential for executing the production task efficiently. Means without resources, like if in the production process we are using the 10 resources and any single resources in between the production cycle is unavailable, it's affect the whole production cycle. So in the dynamics we have 6 types of resources that we can configure. So first is a vendor, human resource, machine, tool, location and the facilities. So you can just pause that video and read the whole part. Just to save time, I'm just move forward quickly. So here the example, a factory uses the machine for assembly and worker for quality check and the vendor for outsource painting. So in our example, let's say assembly machine is in use to prepare a check and the quality check are done by the worker, and vendor are outsourced for the painting a chair. So these are called as the resources. So let's can go back to our dynamics and create a new resource. So again go back to the dynamics, navigate to the production control module. Let's collapse all under the setup. We have the resources, so we just click on the resource section. So here, as we already saw this form at the time of assign the calendar to the resources. So just click on this new button and I'm going to create a 2 new resources for production process of chair. So let's add, first is cutting. So I'm going, so this cutting wood, let's say cutting wood. And in the type you can see that, as I mentioned in the presentation, there is 6 type of resource. So I just keep it as a machine. So here you can see that as I'm selecting the machine as a type, all other options like vendor, worker name, all the options are disabled. Let's say I'm selecting the vendor, then system asks me to tag the vendor. Let's say I'm selecting the human resource, then the vendor is grayed out, worker system asks me to tag the worker. So based on that, based on the selection, you need to enter the input accordingly. So let's say I'm entering the machine. So in the machine, as soon as I selecting the machines, first I just close this general tab because in the general tab is majorly for the worker and the vendor. Okay, so the next is vendor route group. We have not yet created a route group because in the next episode we are going to talk about the route groups and the route version. So as you guys see that it's everything is interrelated with each other. So if you skip any part, you are not going to configure properly production for discrete manufacturing. So make sure you stay tuned with all the episode, like from start to end. So for this example I'm just going to select discrete, but in the new episode we are going to create a new route and the new route version and the route group as well. We again come to this resource and change this. So we just add the route group. We have that option to enter the queue time, run time, setup time. So for to keep it as a simple, I've just keep it as a blank. here we have option to set up a category and a runtime category. So why I'm selecting the runtime category and setup category, but why not quantity category? To understand this one, we need to watch the next episode. In the next episode, I'm going to create a root group, and in the root group we have that option to enable some functionalities. So in the quantity, let me explain you in this just simple term. In the quantity category means based on the quantity level the costing gets updated or calculated. So we are not going to like use a quantity category in this, so that's why it's blank. In runtime category, let's say, let's open the one. Here you can see that the estimated manufacturing cost and estimated cost of manufacturing, the posting accounts are already mentioned, so it's used for the financial purpose. In the calendar, as we have already created a new calendar, we assign our new calendar. In the capabilities, you generally like other certification, like I'm creating a new resource for vendor or any machine which have the specific certification or have some capabilities that entered in the system already, so you can directly assign this over here. But for this, I don't think it's required now. In the resource group, we are going to talk about the resource group in the same video. So for now, it's we keep it as a blank. And same, it's in the ledger posting, we have that option to estimated manufacturing cost account and cost of manufacturing to assign over here. I strongly recommend you guys to sit with your finance team and update the values over here based on their recommendation, because they usually created a posting account, and that posting account you guys need to link with this. So we have created a resources now. Again, let's create one more thing, because we are just not doing the cutting, we have the option of assembly as well. So share, keep it as again machine, and the route group discrete, and in the calendar section add the calendar. Don't forget to add the calendar. If you not assign the calendar and plan to use this resource in the production order, system will give you error that this particular resource is unavailable in the production process. So make sure you add the calendar properly. So let's save this one. Now we have done with our resource part. Now we move to the next resource group. For that, we again move back to our presentation first. So resource group, what is resource group? A resource group is a set of operational resources that define the granularity for the resource scheduling. It helps in efficient resource management by grouping the similar resource together. Let me explain you. So let's say as our production, we are manufacturing a chair. So in that 4 resources are required. So let's say first is assembling, an assembly controller. Next is cutting and the cutting operation worker. So these 4 resources are required to manufacturing a chair. So to in the production cycle, instead of assigning the each resource individually, we create one resource group, tag that 4 resources in that particular resource group, and tag this resource group or assign this resource group for this production. So to keep this simple, resource group are created. So and the resource group are is it's on a higher level hierarchy. So let's say in the resources you assign some values in the posting level or setup runtime or some setup time differently, but in the resource group the costing is different and setup time is different. System every time select the values enter in the resource group level. So here I have already mentioned the key features like multi-group assignment, data restriction, capacity management, simplified the scheduling, and flexibility. So you guys can just pause that video and read that part. And here the example is a manufacturing plant has a resource group of CNC machine. So they have the 10 resources. So they create one resource group of CNC machines and assign these 10 machine resources to the one resource group. So let's move back to the dynamics and create one resource group to, so you guys better understand what is resource group. So in the resource group section, I just click on this new, I just name it as a chair manufacturing, or we keep it as a chair production. And in the site, we keep it as a home production. Okay, the next part is a route in the route we have that option of scrap percentage. So let's say in the production of chair, you you have some scrap material. Let's say you are cutting a wood, we'll get some scrap material. That percentage of the scrap you can mention over here. Next is cost category, the setup time category, and quantity category. I'm talking about this. In the resource level, you also mention the cost category, but system always take a setup like cost categories mentioned in the group level. So you also have that option to enable the finite capacity, because all the resources doesn't have the infinite capacity to run. Next is calendar. Similarly, calendar is most important part in all resource and resource group. Next is resources. So here I'm going to mention all resources. Let's say Jodi, we are assuming that Jodi is a operator to use the assembly machine. Next we'll select the assembly, and the last one is cutting machine. Okay, so here I'm assuming that Jodi work on the both two machines. So we just save this one. Similarly, as a resource, let's collapse all the things. So okay, so now you can see that we have the same option which we get in the resource level. So in the resources and the resource group, the options are same. If you don't doesn't want to like add in the every resource level, you can directly mention on the resource group level. Okay, so we have created resource group. Now just save this one. So here we have done with our today's episode. In the next video we are going to talk about root, so make sure you watch the next episode as well. And if you are watching my episode first time, make sure subscribe to my channel to get the latest video notification. So stay tuned with us, and thank you for watching.